All right, guys. Well, it is baseball opening week and weekend. Let's talk about it on the Sportscast with your hosts Brian and Craig. Craig, my man, how you been, bud?
Howdy.
Yeah, it is that great time of year where football is kind of over with, and you were waiting for our next great sport, and baseball started, and opening day, Rangers played. We started a 4-game series with the Boston Red Sox. We lose game one with our bullpen gives up a 3-run shot in the ninth inning to lose the game. I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, here we go. Come on. Nathan Eovaldi looked good. Second game, I was looking forward to seeing Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter goes out and throws a gem. Looked pretty good. So, decent start for the Rangers. They won tonight as well, and we play tomorrow as well. Craig, the Yankees murdered the Brewers on live television today.
Yeah.
20-9. They hit they went what? The first three batters all hit home runs. Four batters.
Three on
all
the
hit
first
home
three
runs.
pitches. Welcome
Insane.
back to the Yankee Stadium, Nestor Cortez.
I was 6A. I thought that was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put up, I didn't get to see it, but I'm watching it on my phone, the updates, and it said they had 8 home runs, and it was just barely in the 5th inning.
Yeah, they had 9 total, one shy of the major league record.
Aaron Judge had 3 himself. What a day.
3.5. The other one hit the wall and should have gone out, but it didn't.
So a good start for the Yankees. They're 2-0. How's your team looking so far?
Oh, good. They won opening day. They in the top of the ninth, down to their last strike, and Wilmer Flores hits a 3-run homer, and then they lose 3-2 today in a pretty good pitcher's duel. Verlander looked okay. He went 5 innings and let up 2 runs. Kind of working back into things. He's 42 years old, so oldest active member in all 4 sports. So we'll see what they get out of him. But no, they don't look bad. They've only let up 6 runs total in 2 games, and the offense looks okay. But when you're in a division with the Dodgers, who that lineup from top to bottom looks like it never quits, and San Diego and Arizona, who are also pretty good, it's going to be an interesting ride.
The Dodgers. Speaking of the Dodgers, anybody but them at this point. But they started off a series with Tigers, and Tigers are that young team last year that looked pretty good. They made some moves in the offseason. I'm interested to see how good the Tigers are going to be this season. If they can make a move, they're a team to watch for me, kind of to see where they're going to go. What is a team for you, Craig, that you're looking forward to kind of watch to see if they can?
I definitely think the Tigers showed last year with and then the addition of Gleyber Torres and strengthening the rotation with Flaherty. They get Flaherty back from the Dodgers. But I don't know. I'm interested to see what the Yankees can do after the loss of Garrett Cole. How they seem to be okay. They seem to not miss a step, beating a pretty good Brewers team handily both games. And I'm also interested to see if the Mets, if all the money they spent in the offseason on Soto and all this, if that really can play out. They never seem to. They spend a lot of payroll, and then it never seems to work for them. They always have something happen, and they never are standing there at the end. But I guess the team that I'm most excited about that nobody really talks about is the Braves. You get Ronald Acuna back. You get some of your pitching back that missed most of last year, and nobody's really talking about them. That lineup is pretty stout, and Acuna hasn't even played yet, and I think that is a team to watch out for over in the National League is the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I agree. They have a really good roster, really good. And I was sad when Freeman left. The first baseman went to the Dodgers, and the Yankees picked up what's his face from the Braves. The pitcher they picked up. I can picture his face. I can't picture his name. Yeah, Fried. Max Fried.
Yeah.
So, did the Braves replenish that, the pitching staff there, the starting rotation with him?
Well, they get Spencer Strider back, who had Tommy John last year, so he'll come back. And, they've still had a pretty solid rotation top to bottom. Losing Fried definitely hurts. He's an ace deal. I'll be interested to see how he does over in Yankee Stadium, the launching pad over there. I mean, that ball just jumping out of the yard right now. I think they have something like 12 or 13 home runs in 2 games. So, I mean, that ball, and I read a deal today, and I'll have to do more research on this, that they had their bats manufactured differently and
I saw
moved
that wall go.
wood further down to the sweet spot of the bat to make the where the actual contact in the bat has more wood on it. I'm assuming it's legal, but I don't really know for sure. That's crazy. And for that to come out today, and then to them to have 12 or 13 homers in the first 2 games, just seems weird.
Yeah, you know, if they have a record amount,
Yeah,
if they have a record amount, you think other teams are going to go, hey, let's do exactly what they're doing.
yeah.
And maybe if you see a astronomical jump, then maybe maybe Major League steps in and says
no.
No, I'm sorry, you can't do that. It should be interesting. Should be interesting to see how that's managed. But I just saw that before we jumped on the show. But I got some bad news to the Ranger fans. Josh Young today sits out. He might need some time on the injured list with a neck spasms. So already starting with injuries, we've seen it when Josh Young doesn't play, our offense and our team goes down, and when he plays, it's like a whole different ball club out there. He's a huge bat force, so hopefully he's going to take a couple days off, rest. Hopefully he doesn't need a stint on the IR is our hopes, but we'll see. Because we don't have a whole lot of options at third base. You know, today Smith stepped in there and played third base for him, but injuries have been killing the Rangers last year, and we just hope that it's not yet. I think, if I'm not mistaken, DeGrom goes tomorrow, so they'll be interesting to see. They're not pushing him or pressuring him. He's obviously the best pitcher we got on the staff. I mean, when healthy, he's one of the best in baseball. But they're not going to throw him out there and put too many innings on him right away. But so we'll see. We'll see. I'm glad Leiter looked good for him the other day, and Kumar Rocker we've got still to look forward to as well. And so we won today 4-3. Boston's supposed to be a better team this year, so they played us pretty well at home. We got the Astros beating the Mets today. Rockies 2-1 over the Rays, and then right now you got the Cubs and Diamondbacks and Athletics, and the Tigers and Dodgers. Tigers and Dodgers are tied up 2-2 in the 3rd inning. So it says Matt Scherzer leaves the Jays debut after 3 innings, so that's not good for
he's got lat soreness. That's he missed some time in the spring with some stuff, and now he leaves the first start over there with deals, so that probably means he at least misses his next start.
Yeah, he was one I would have liked to have back a little bit.
He's had a lot of injuries lately.
That's what it is, yeah.
A lot of missed time. So that's the one thing that I'm afraid of with Verlander. But luckily, we have a couple guys in the system that are ready to step in. You know, we have a guy that didn't let up any runs in the spring, and he's in the bullpen right now. And then you've got another guy in the minor leagues that can step in as well. I think we're okay, even if Verlander has to miss a little bit of time, that the Giants can still survive that. Yeah, with Scherzer, it's been good when he's there and good when he's healthy, but he just has not been able to have that lengthy deal that he has not been able to miss some time.
Sorry, you want to let's get into a little bit of hockey here, real quick, Craig.
Well, you got a record that we never thought would be broken, on the brink of being broken. Alex Ovechkin is 6 goals away from 894, breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal scoring, which is a crazy statistic. You look at that, and if you break it down over a 20-year time span, you need to average almost 45 goals a season for 20 seasons to surpass this. It's not something that I think will be done anytime soon. We didn't think it would ever be done. And Ovechkin is 6 goals away from doing that with about 12 or 13 games to go. He missed a good chunk of the season with a broken femur. So this would probably already be done. The question is that if he doesn't get it in the next 12 games, we've pretty much known this to be Ovechkin's kind of final tour, and that he was going to retire from hockey after the season. Does he come back and play a few games into next season? If he does not get to 894, that is yet to be seen. But it'll be really interesting to see if he doesn't get. They say he's got like a 62% chance right now of getting to 895. He would need 7 goals to do that in the next like 12 games. So I believe up there they're going to be feeding him the puck. I would assume they're going to be feeding him the puck, and you're going to see some extended ice time for Alex Ovechkin here over the last 10 or 12 games to try to get him past the great one in 894. So that'll be very interesting to see how that goes. Obviously, he's a sure Hall of Famer if he does that. I mean, he's a sure Hall of Famer now, but I mean, averaging almost 45 goals a season is unheard of. I mean, you got guys for the Stars that are having phenomenal seasons right now. Robertson just scored 31 and 32 the other day, and he's they got 12 games left. There's no way he's going to probably get to 45, and if he does, that would be the one season. He's played 7 seasons and hasn't had 45 every season. So even the best goal scorer that the Stars have, I mean, Jamie Benn's been sitting on 399 now for about a month and a half, a little over a month. And he that would put him at halfway, not even halfway. He would still need another 497 goals, and he's been playing for 10, 12 years, 15 years now. So you just put that into perspective that Ben's over here having a pretty good career, and he's at 399 where Ovechkin's at 892. So.
And is that a record you think NHL fans want to see broken? Because there's some of those records that
I mean,
some don't.
It's one I never thought I'd see, bro. I mean, they talked about this years back when Ovechkin came in the league, that they thought he had a shot at it, and I'm going, there's no way. There's just no way. I mean, you do the numbers, and I want to say Ovechkin's been in the league 21 or 22 seasons, so he's averaged north of 40 goals a season. I mean, that with the way the puck flies around the ice and the way you get hit and the way the toll it takes on your body, guys just don't play 25 seasons. And Sidney Crosby obviously is the other one to play that long, but I would be willing to bet he's 200 or 300 goals short of that. I don't even think he might be at 700. And that's a wonderful career. But when Wayne Gretzky walked away, it was a record that you never thought would ever be touched. And as it started to come to this season, they were like, he's going to do it, and I was like, no way. And then he broke his leg, and you thought that was for sure that it wasn't going to happen. And here he is, 6 goals away, and like I said, I think they give him every opportunity. In Washington, I think they give him every opportunity to take extra shots and have some extra shifts and I just hope that when he does it, the other night he got an empty netter. I hope 895 is not an empty netter. On a time that doesn't. That there's nobody down there and kind of in garbage time.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like I said, it'll be very interesting to see if he does fall short, if he goes into next season. I don't think he plays a full season, but I think he kind of plays until he gets it and then quietly walks away after that. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of deal, if he has a contract or if he, how that works out if he doesn't get to it here in the next 10 or 12 games, because the playoff goals don't count.
We're getting close to the end of the NHL season. Let's go into some playoffs. Some playoff teams here. I know the Stars are going to make the playoffs and stuff like that. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, they can clinch tonight with a win of any kind over Seattle, and then a little bit of help if Colorado beats, Ding or the team they're playing, and if Calgary loses in regulation or whatever. But I mean, they're in. They play Seattle tonight, and then again Monday in Seattle. It's kind of a weird schedule that you play the same team back to back in their building, and take a day off. But I mean, it's that they've played really well. They beat a very good Edmonton team the other day 4-3. They beat Calgary, who's been a thorn in their side, 5-2. The goaltending has really been top notch with Ottinger and Casey DeSmith, which you like to see this time of year because the hot goaltender is what's going to get you through. Mikko Rantanen has finally started to looks like he's starting to fit in with the line he's playing on. He had a goal the other night. Jason Robertson and Wyatt Johnson are the hottest guys on planet Earth right now. They both are over 30 goals. Robertson, if you looked at this the first month of the season and were like, what is this guy doing? Where? He had foot surgery in the off season and didn't really play any in preseason, and you could tell. And he's finally got his skates under him and obviously feeling healthy. And he's had, I want to say, 17 or 18 goals over the last 10 games, and Wyatt Johnson is right behind him. They keep alternating hat tricks, so they both had multiple hat tricks in the last month. They've hit a huge month of March, and so if those guys can stay hot and Rantanen can stay hot, I mean, I think the Stars are going to make a deep run here, but boy, it doesn't look really good for round one. It looks like they're on a crash course with the Colorado Avalanche for round one, and you just don't want to see that. You don't want to see that because they don't match up well against the Colorado team. Guys named McKinnon and Makar are thorns in the Dallas Stars side. They've always been thorns in the side of Dallas, and I can promise you right now it's going to be a very, very difficult round one. It will not be 4-0. You're not going to get any rest in round one if you draw the Colorado Avalanche, but I'd much rather draw Minnesota. They're 6 points back of the top seed. They do have a head-to-head game against Winnipeg. It's not unheard of that they catch them, but it would be difficult. Winnipeg would have to lose a couple games down the stretch, and Dallas would have to just really put their foot on the throttle and almost win out to try to have this, which is disappointing because they win the President's Trophy last year, and they're having a better season point wise this year than they had last year. That just goes to show you how stacked the Western Conference is in points. Is they're going to have the second best record in hockey and not win their division. So
that's crazy.
And so yeah, and the fact that they're going to have more points than Vegas, who's going to win their division and get a better. They're going to get the other wild card, and so, Dallas hopefully will. I don't know if Minnesota can catch Colorado, but that would be nice for Minnesota and Colorado to flip flop, and where you don't have to play Colorado in the first round. But we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. I mean, you got to beat everybody to get there.
Yeah.
And so you just didn't know if you really wanted to play Colorado right out of the gap, but you will have home ice advantage. That'll be nice. And like I said, right now with the way that both Otter and DeSmith are playing, I can put our chances against anybody. Ever since the game where DeBoer called him out and they lost against Colorado, and he said that was, I don't know what that was, but I got veterans on this team and they looked like they didn't want to be here, and just went out into the press conference and just absolutely tore the whole team. I mean, just destroyed the whole team in the press conference. They haven't lost since, and they've averaged 5 goals a game. So, I mean, guy knows what he's doing. Calls them out in the press conferences, says that looked terrible, and had basically said they had no effort and no heart, and they've kind of woken up. So maybe that's what they needed. Maybe they just needed a wake up call, but they're playing some good hockey right now, and I still think Winnipeg is probably the team that stands in their way. They're fast. They play extremely, extremely fast. They play extremely, extremely rough and muck up the middle of the ice and make it difficult to enter the zone cleanly. They have a bunch of high powered scorers, and they have the goaltender that was with Otter in the Four Nations deal, and so those are the two hottest goaltenders on the planet facing it out. So Winnipeg last year went in, and you really thought they would be the what stood in your way, and they lost in round one. So anybody in hockey, that is one of the deals that it's not unheard of for the last wild card to beat the one seed. Like that's just not shocking. Last year with the Stars making the Western Conference Finals was the longest that the President's Trophy team had hung around in a while. Normally, the President's Trophy is a absolute curse. The guys that have won it, I mean, Boston won it a couple years ago and scored the most points that in the NHL team had ever had in a total season, and lost in round one to Florida. And you're like, what just happened? It's not unheard of for a team who had a great regular season to go into the playoffs and lay an egg. So we'll be interested to see how it all pans out. Like I said, what you want is the hot goaltender in the month of April and May. That's what's going to get you to the cup is and the Stars. Normally, when you get to the playoffs, you just ride your number one throughout all of them. But I wouldn't be shocked for the Stars to play both guys. Casey DeSmith has looked really, really good all season. He's looked really good all season as a backup, and so I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him in a playoff game. Normally, you don't want to see your number two in a playoff game because that kind of means you're waving the white flag and giving that game up. But I don't think that's the case in Dallas. I think their backup is solid enough to win you a couple games in the playoffs if you need them to. So, be interesting to see. They tip off right now. Puck drop is right now against Seattle. So we'll see. We'll see how that
Craig's
goes.
like, could you hurry up, please? Get off.
Yeah. Wrap it up. So yeah, but they've played really well lately, and Colorado's kind of it's weird. Colorado goes and wins 3 or 4 straight, and then loses to a team that you don't think they should lose to. And Minnesota started real hot. The only team that really has kind of sustained it is Winnipeg. Winnipeg started like 11 or 12-0, and they just haven't come off of it. And like I said, the Stars have 45 wins in an 82 game season. So I mean, it's 45, 46. I think Winnipeg's got 48. So I mean, they're 3 wins from being the top deal. Problem is when Dallas loses, they normally don't. Winnipeg's got a couple extra points by taking it to overtime and getting that 1 extra point by going to overtime. And Dallas seems to have lost a couple in regulation where Dallas is weird. They seem to have a tendency to play down to the competition when they play these teams like they do tonight, Seattle and your Chicago's and your team that just aren't going to be playoff contenders. They seem to come out and just kind of, oh, no, we just showed up. We should win by 1,000. And then next thing you know, it's 2 or 3 to nothing. And they're like, oh, well, wait a minute. There's a hockey game going on. These guys are supposed to suck. They're just supposed to lay down for us. And so it'll be interesting to see tonight and Monday how they come out and play a team like Seattle if they can keep their foot on the throttle and do what they're supposed to do and get four very important points.
Yeah, I've been watching more hockey lately, trying to keep up with the Stars, try and watch the game, and when we jump off here and get ready for some playoff hockey, man. It's one of the best playoffs sports that you can watch. So all right, let's get into a little bit of NFL. There hasn't been too much news. We've heard we talked a lot about Aaron Rodgers lately. The Vikings said we're good, we're gonna thanks but no thanks, and then the other day they came out and said our guy is McCarthy, but we're keeping conversations open with Aaron Rodgers. which is interesting because I'm like, well, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coming for a backup position there.
I don't think so.
Where he's still talking with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Excuse me, but he went and talked to them, but he left the facility without any contracts.
I don't know. I heard a little bit different today. They said that there was a deal in place, kind of agreed upon. Maybe it wasn't signed, but it was kind of verbal handshake. So it'll be interesting to see if by the end of the weekend or early next week we don't have a deal with them. I think that's his only option. I think
that is, and that might.
I think it's if you want to play, and if you don't, you can retire. But boy, I'll tell you right now, it'll be the best set of wide receivers he's ever thrown to.
Yep. And that's the only option for the Steelers, too.
I think so. I mean, Mason Rudolph's not getting it done, you know? I mean, if you're the guy they got from Seattle, Metcalf, and you know, Pickens over there, you know, you're going, this guy? No. That's not going to cut it. You know, even though I think Ray Charles could probably throw those two the football and have success, you know.
But, you know, there's interesting rumors. There's interesting rumors, though, that people have reached out and talk about trades for Pickens. So it'd be weird that they'd go get one guy and then trade, which to me, Pickens is better than Metcalf. That would be interesting.
Pickens is a head case, though. I mean, he's a real drama. There's a lot of drama around that guy every year. You know, going in the huddle, yelling at people, and you know, throw me the damn ball. And he reminds me of T.O. He just reminds me of that everywhere he goes, he's a cancer. And I don't know. I wouldn't want him if Dallas said, hey, we'll take him. I wouldn't want him. He just seems to be a really, really bad locker room, bad huddle, bad on the field presence, you know, and kind of quits on plays. He's just had a really, really rough start to a career. When he plays and when he wants to play and when he wants to be good, you know, he can, but he seems to take a lot of plays off and just seems like a real diva to me.
Yeah, I haven't watched too much of him. I just know I would take him on my team because we're desperate for a damn good wide receiver. But
yeah, I mean, Dallas obviously needs one. I mean, they let.
I mean, at least you got Lamb, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, they let what's his name go that they got from the Texans and Cook. Yeah, and you know they just never used him. I don't know if he got into Prescott's doghouse right away. They just never seemed to use him the way that he was, you know, supposed to be used. And you know, it'll be interesting to see if they draft somebody. They're talking about. Rumor is Genty, if he's there at 12, I hope to God they don't do that.
That's a Jerry Jones move right there.
Oh, right? It is. Now, I'll tell you, the guy, if they take somebody and they take a running back, the old Scataboom or whatever his name is there, if they're talking about him being a fourth rounder. I said, there's no way. He's just as good as, you know, the other guy.
I watched him play Texas, and my gosh, that guy is damn good. He put that team on his back.
Catching passes, blocking, over there throwing up on the sidelines, and still, you put me in, coach. I got it.
I got you. Yeah. No, I know. If they take Genty, that'd be pretty funny and interesting. Now, speaking of the draft, we will have a draft show coming up at the beginning of next month. And then we'll have a live show for a draft reaction as well. So, looking forward to that, but a lot of the talk is that this draft is really not that impressive, Greg, that there's going to be a lot of guys dropping out, trading their picks and moving down. So we'll see, though. We'll see what happens. The biggest talk, obviously, is Shedeur Sanders. Where's he going?
Where's the circus going? That's what that is, because that's going to be a circus.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, I'm not impressed. I don't know. And then if he drops, you're gonna have to hear how you know this, you know, Sanders and you know Dion and them making a huge deal if he drops. I don't know. It just seems like a circus. And Colorado goes and extends Sanders for 5 years. You know, it doesn't look like he's coming to the NFL anytime soon, because that would be an absolutely hefty buyout for somebody to have to buy out that contract to Colorado. So
the circus is him, and then you know obviously where's Travis Hunter going to go? Is he the number one pick? It's probably Cam Ward. We'll see what happens, but there's not a lot of great A talent they're saying in this draft. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
we will live react to that show.
I think there is. Show. I just don't think it's the what you would call like the offensive. Yeah, like well, yeah, like I think your guards and your tackles and stuff. Nobody really focuses on them, even though they can be game changers. After your edge rusher, your guy that plays two ways, Cam Ward, maybe Genty. Now it gets into a bunch of, linebackers and tackles and tight ends and the stuff you don't really notice. I mean, you should. Like, that guy didn't let up a sack all year. That guy made every block. This guy did this. This guy did that. But you don't, if it's not an edge rusher, if he's not in there causing havoc, or he's not a wide receiver catching 2,000 yards, or not a running back running for 1,500 yards, then or a quarterback throwing for 30 touchdowns, nobody knows their name and nobody talks about them. And so to the normal, everyday NFL fan, yeah, no, this draft is probably not great. But for somebody like us who watches it and is in depth in it, I think it's going to be a huge draft. I think a lot of teams can fill a lot of holes with guys that are the unspoken. I think Dallas can rebuild their entire offensive line if they draft right. That's a huge deal. If you can do that, maybe the two running backs you got might be enough. Maybe you don't need to go spend some draft capital, or maybe you can spend later down the road, use one of the comp picks that you got 400 of, because you can't keep anybody on your own team, and take one of your 400 comp picks and get a running back later in the deal. And if you use the first 2 or 3 rounds right and rebuild your offensive line, then and get a wide receiver, then this team maybe is okay. But right now, they're going to have to hit a massive home run in the draft, and I'm not sure white-haired Yoda is up for the task.
Yeah, this looks like a draft with more death pieces for teams than anything. But it's in Green Bay, so it'll be awesome to watch, and it's going to be in Green Bay this year, which is fantastic. But they were talking the other day about Green Bay drafting a guard, and it's like, it's not the sexy pick that you want.
No, and that's what I'm talking about.
It's there might not be. It's exact one of the things we need. So
1 through 32, you might have 5 skill guys that are off the board, and 25 linemen, but those 25 linemen may win you a Super Bowl. You win and lose by offensive, defensive line, but people don't understand that.
Yeah. When we drafted a guy last year, first round offensive tackle, and he was not very good.
I bet Caleb Williams would do cartwheels to have 2 or 3 offensive linemen be drafted by the Bears, so he's not running for his life on every play.
Well, they did a good job over the offseason to take care of the offensive line, so we'll see what the Chicago Bears look like. But I think time we hit the What's in Our Locker segment, and then we can go watch the Stars play. So, Craig, what's in your locker, buddy?
Not a lot. We've got 1 week left of the waking up at midnight and back to some reasonable schedule. Yeah, tell me about it. How these guys do it for a year round, I'll never know. And I told them that. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. There's not a single morning that I wake up and I'm like, let's go, ready to go.
Have any kind of life? That's crazy, man.
So, go back to a reasonable schedule and be able to watch some of these playoff hockey games and watch some baseball, because I'm not having to go to bed at 6:30 and 7 o'clock at night, and get 4 hours of sleep and do it again. So for the next couple months, that'll be nice for what I do. Sports watching, draft talking, draft watching, things like that. It's not great getting off at 4 o'clock and sitting in bumper to bumper traffic driving to Burleson, but it is what it is. But great. 1-0 Seattle.
Yeah, the Stars are down 1-0.
Sweet. So just like I said, you get a team like Seattle who doesn't belong on the ice with you, and you just lay an egg. Just getting ready for that, and getting Zach all situated. He's been driving all around town, doing all the grocery shopping, and went and got his own haircut the other day. And man, it's nice to not have to
be chauffeur.
Not have to worry about any of that. Just here's the keys. Let's go. So. How about you? What's in your locker?
Nice. Well, just enjoying this weekend. I bought the Rangers package so I could watch all the Ranger games. It's not bad. It's better than what Bally's had, so I'll take it.
Stars are free.
Free, yeah.
F- on the Rangers on that deal. Drop the ball.
It might not be after the season, but we'll see because this is kind of like they're testing it out.
I would be disappointed if they put. I would be very because you just proved that you could do it for free.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show, and it's pretty cool. You create your character, and you start from high school. You know, you have a chance to win the championship, and then you can go to college or pro. I went to college, and you're hitting metal dingers, ding, with a bat. I got my guy went to TCU and won the national championship, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. So I've been playing some of that and spending time with the kiddos. I took the kiddos to Urban Air today and let them get some energy out. So other than that, I start next week on the late shift. So just like with you, I can stay up and watch all the sporting events and not have to go to bed. I wasn't going to bed at 9 o'clock, but I can stay up late now. I usually go to bed around midnight, but I don't go until 10. So it's
we go
10 to 7 usually.
Yeah.
So
no 7.
Real quick, a change in the show. We are moving to Friday nights. I want my Saturday nights back. So we're going to move to Friday nights at 9 o'clock starting next week. There were some technical difficulties on the YouTube. We weren't live on YouTube for some reason, only on Facebook. But anywho, we'll get those figured out and continue going forward. Jeff is not able to be on tonight. Go check out his shorts. Jeff's been making a bunch of shorts, great shorts to go watch. He made one of the Yankees dominating their old pitcher today, so go check it out. It's getting some traction there on the YouTube. But that is the show tonight, guys. God bless, and have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.